Hey, what's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and it's gonna be a really tough video for me to make, but I I really feel like I need to do it for me, and most of all for a lot of you. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know by now. But last night I had to say goodbye to my best guy, Thor. Um, he passed away, and living up to his name, he has taken that rainbow bridge to Valhalla, where he fought really hard. On my wife's birthday last year, April of 2023, he had his first of what I guess I would call a heart attack. He literally died, and I had to give him CPR to bring him back. And that's when we found out that he was he had heart disease, he was in heart failure, and he had something called Addison's. And since April of last year, we've been able to treat it. We went to a wonderful animal hospital called Tufts University in Massachusetts, and our Dr. Melhorn, she was just amazing. Really, truly cared for us, and I can't even think about how much money we've spent in the last year and a half keeping him alive. But man, that last year and a half we got with him was worth everything. A lot of you guys have pets. You know what it's like, and for me, Thor was like a child to me. We don't have kids, for reasons I don't want to get into, but it's certainly not because we don't want it. So it's the next best thing. And Thor loved everybody. Thor was the best dog. He was so good. And I'm so thankful that I found him. We adopted him when he was about 10 months old. And before I did YouTube, I used to do a lot of concert photography. I would interview bands, write album reviews. And so for many years, I dealt with a lot of publicists. And there's a girl named Amy who was a publicist for Roadrunner Records. And if you don't know Roadrunner, it's probably one of the biggest heavy metal record labels in the world. They have Slipknot and a billion other bands, Machine Head, Fear Factory, Nickelback, Trivium, lots of bands over the years. And at the time, it was the absolute height. And I had a good relationship with her, and we were friends on Facebook. And one weekend, she volunteers at animal, clinic. No, what am I thinking of? Shelters. And she posted a picture of Thor, whose name was Cash at the time, on Facebook, and it was right after Teddy had passed away, my last boxer, and he just looked so much like Teddy. And I messaged her. I'm like, hey, I want him. And she told me where he was, but they were closed. And I waited through the weekend to call them, and by the time I got in touch with them, he had been sent to another shelter in the bottom of, like, almost in Delaware. And I contacted them, and like, yeah, my mom and I drove down. I want to say it was Memorial Day weekend. Is that the one that's in May? And we got him, and we drove home with him. And ever since then, he's just made our lives so much better because he was like my shadow. He followed me everywhere. If I moved, he got up and followed. Um, he would lay there and watch me stream. He would lay there and watch me record videos. You know, whenever you watch and you see me in the camera, he was always right there. And Evie's there right now. And I'm just so sad for her too because she loved Thor so much. And I'm so sad for my wife because she's taking this really hard too. And my brother and my mom, and this was our family dog. Like, even though, I don't know, he was family. And I can only hope that everybody in life gets to have a companion like Thor. I can't thank the people on socials right now who are trying to like lift me up. It hasn't even been 12 hours, and my tweet has over like 100 people commenting on it, almost 500 likes, and just it really means the world to me. And I want you to know that I'm doing my best. I'm trying to keep up with it. It's hard sometimes because like I just keep having to kind of like think about it, and we're gonna be fine. And I think as we said goodbye to Thor last night, he knew we were there. He had basically probably his fifth or sixth heart attack at this point. I don't know what to call them. But I literally had to watch him die 4 times. And there was the last one, there was no extra lives. This time it was time. 2 weeks ago, I was going to the groomers, and that's when he had his biggest and worst collapse. And, the 2 weeks that he was home since, I knew that this was it. I knew it. I knew it in my core. And I just wanted him to go to sleep. I just wanted him to, like, on his own, just go. So I didn't have to feel any kind of guilt that we had to make a decision. And I don't feel that, thankfully, because we didn't really have to. It was just, there was no coming back from this one. And, he was so tired, but he still tried to love us so much. He still was crawling up next to me and wanting to be right with me, and he just loved us so much, and he didn't want to leave. I will forever cherish my Thor plushies. To those of you that have them, please give them an extra hug for me. And thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me that there were people that wanted this in their life and that were willing to spend the money on it. You never hear me ask for donations. You never hear me ask for your money. I don't really want your money. I just try to get by off of people watching the ads. And but man, I'm not gonna lie to you. This last year and a half, we ended up having to take out a second mortgage just to keep him going because the bills were just adding up. We'd bring him in there, and it was like $4,000 every time. We've probably spent close to $30,000 just keeping him alive, and it was worth every penny. And I will pay that down until that is gone and not have any issues with it. But that doesn't change the fact that it's tough. I'm certainly not as successful as I used to be on YouTube. And that's not a guilt trip. That's not like me saying, why aren't you watching more? It's nothing like that. It's just the reality. I know it. I know that everything's slowing down, and I'm just thankful that being able to do this let me give him such a great life and always be home with him. And I'm going to miss him so much. I really am. And I want to get this out of the way because I have to get back to work. I have not been doing much this month because of this. You know, it might not seem that way because like I plowed through the Lego Horizons game, and obviously not a successful thing. And that doesn't matter. But you know, otherwise my production has been down because I've been so hurt and I've been so down, and it's been really hard to put on a brave face and face the camera. But I got to get into that flow of things, and that's why I'm doing this now. And I'm also doing it now, doing this because I'm just a real person, you know? I'm just a human. I'm just another guy. I'm not anything special. And you guys are making me feel really special right now. And I just thank everyone so much for caring about me and thinking about me, you know, and my family while we're kind of grieving a little bit. But we're going to get back on the horse, and we're going to try. I'm going to do the after show tonight. I think we're going to have some guests on with us, and I don't really want to make it all about that. I want to just try to get back to some normalcy. But I want to just take some time to kind of reflect on just my best buddy. I love him so much. I'm going to miss him so much. And again, I don't want to keep going in circles, but again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Just thank you so much for showing me so much compassion, and I am just forever grateful. So, if you didn't watch the rest of the video, I hope you at least got to see and hear that. And we'll be fine. We're gonna be okay. It's just hard right now. I love you, Thor. I'm gonna miss you. Thank you.